What's up guys, and welcome back to some Ratchet & Clank. For this video I decided to talk about Angela Cross. Now the thing is, I did talk about Angela Cross and Max Apogee in an old video. You can go ahead and watch that video if you want, but I decided to update it a bit. Let's just say when I rewatched that old video, I cringed. Like seriously, I would delete that video right now. But it's still memories we're talking about, so I will leave it up. Maybe one day I'll react to them and pretty much laugh. Anyways, back to the point. Angela Cross only appeared in Going Commando in the classic game. She used to work for MegaCorp. She was working on this project to create this perfect pet called the protopet. Now if some of you have played the reimagining, the host did mention protopets during the race on Rilgar. Just a little fun fact I wanted to point out. Okay, so Abercrombie Fizzwidget, or should I say fake Fizzwidget, Qwark tied up the real guy and put him in the closet. And what he did is he dressed up as him and controlled MegaCorp. While Angela was working on the protopet, Fizzwidget aka Qwark wanted to release the project a lot sooner. The protopet was still flawed. Angela was completely against the idea of doing so. So because of that, she got kicked off the team and pretty much got fired. Why did Qwark even do that? Well, if some of you haven't played the classic games, let's just say he wasn't the wisest guy. Yes, the same thing can be said if we compare him to the reimagining, but it did take him longer to redeem himself in the classic games. Wait, Qwark redeemed himself in the PS4 reimagining? I'm talking about the ending, that's all. So what happened next is that Angela dressed up as the mysterious thief, which had a voice distorter, you know, not to get caught. She stole the original project, the original protopet. Now Ratchet was being manipulated by the fake Fizzwidget. On Angela's flying lab on planet Uranus, Ratchet tried taking the protopet. Once Angela realized that she was being followed and people wanted to steal the protopet, she decided to hire thugs for less, you know, to make things easier. But it didn't turn out so well in the end. MegaCorp hired thugs later on. They took over her flying lab on planet Uranus and turned it into this prison. Eventually, Angela tried sneaking in and she was caught, and Ratchet at one point had to save Angela from the Gigantomech. Anyways, to keep things short, Angela and Ratchet succeeded in stopping Qwark from producing a lot of flawed protopets. Now, what else do we know about Angela Cross? Her home planet was Greblin, located in the Bogon galaxy. However, there's a bit more to this story. What exactly happened to Angela Cross? We've seen nothing of her apart from Going Commando. The last we heard of her was in the Kraken time, on the news. Apparently, she was last seen fleeing in Max Apogee's ship in the Cerulean sector. This was 3 years ago. She was trying to escape Tachyon. He hated the Lombaxes. He was seeking revenge on the whole Kragmite war thing. Now, Max Apogee, Talwyn's father, was a collector of rare items and antiquities. According to the news, he also disappeared. Some believe that he was killed by the space pirates. His ship was found on autopilot. Place of origin, planet Jacindu, or Kirchu City. Okay, the place of origin was mentioned, but we don't know where the ship was found exactly. In which sector? Near what planet? Was it actually found on a planet? Anyways, what's so special about Jacindu? It's a point of origin, okay, we get it. According to Iris Computer, which is a very old computer that still exists in the galaxy, explained that during the time of Max Apogee's disappearance, the Lombax secret, aka the Dimensionator, was relocated to Jacindu by Apogee. At a point he was also looking for this Lombax secret. So now, one can assume that Apogee and Angela perhaps used the Dimensionator to escape Tachyon. And where did they go? They probably went to the Lombax dimension, something that the series still hasn't visited. We only got a glimpse in Tools of Destruction. According to TJ Fixman, writer of the Future Saga until Into the Nexus, well, he did write the reimagining, so yeah, there you have it. He confirmed that Angela fled the galaxy. Here's what was mentioned by TJ Fixman. This was back in 2015 on the Ratchet Galaxy website, which is a pretty cool website by the way. What happened to Angela? TJ, Angela fled the galaxy with the help of Max Apogee around the time Tachyon came into power. I never got to write for her, but I love the character. It would have been fantastic to have Angela Cross in the Future Saga. I mean, TJ Fixman wrote for that saga, so would have been great. For those of you wondering about this news in a Kraken time, I'll play the ending for you guys. I will leave the link of the full thing in the description below.
Well, very well then, Pepper. As many of our listeners know, Lombax rebel Angela Cross has been missing for almost 3 years. She was a victim of former dictator Percival Tachyon's vendetta against the Lombaxes. and was last seen fleeing the Cerulean sector in Max Apogee's starship.
You are speaking, of course, of the famed Lombax historian and seeker of the legendary Lombax secret.
Indeed I am, Pepper. Apogee himself vanished from Polaris and was believed to have been killed by space pirates.
Well, galactic authorities now claim they have recovered Apogee's starship. The vessel was discovered on autopilot with its flight registry pinpointing planet Jacindu as its place of origin. Kerchu Ambassador Bogon could not be reached for comment.
With that being said, here's the main question people keep asking when it comes to Angela Cross. Is she a Lombax? So far, A Crack in Time confirmed that she is a Lombax, and this was explained during the radio broadcast. Maybe some of you didn't even know about this, especially for those who just got into the series. I'll play it right now, just listen to it.
Tonight's top story, new information on the disappearance of Lombax rebel Angela Cross.
I'm sorry, have we confirmed that Angela Cross is in fact a Lombax? I know that was the assumption, but she doesn't have a tail.
Female Lombaxes don't have tails, Kip. In fact, this just in, lots of females do not share the same anatomical traits as their male counterparts.
If Angela Cross wasn't a Lombax, why even put that in the game? Why cause confusion? For now, I believe she's a Lombax, unless stated otherwise in the future. Some of you probably don't know, but there seems to be a lot of debate going on whether or not she's actually a Lombax. I'm simply gonna stick to the idea that she is a Lombax. I think that Insomniac Games added in the radio broadcast to simply answer a question that a lot of fans had. After all the games they released, it feels like they don't want to go back to the old story. It feels like they don't want to revisit Angela Cross. They answered a question via a radio broadcast in A Crack in Time. Here's something that's a bit confusing. If Angela Cross is a Lombax, then how come didn't Ratchet recognize his species in Going Commando? Well, realistically speaking, back then, Insomniac Games had planned to make Ratchet the only known Lombax in the galaxy. Well, that completely changed once they started working on the future saga, you know, until Ratchet met Azimuth. Alright, now I'm about to explain to you guys something that I recently discovered. It's nothing major, but it does give rise to a few questions. And right after I go over this, some of you might perhaps like the idea to revisit the Lombaxes and Angela Cross. So, talking about Azimuth, 5 years ago, yes, 5 years ago, okay? Like I said, I had no idea about this until not too long ago. Someone dug around the sound files of the game and found one that had to do with Azimuth. In this sound file, Azimuth was talking about this secret rescue mission with Kaden when they were younger, but then he mentions that Ratchet's mother went to school on planet Viperia. Kaden and Azimuth used to visit her when they were still dating. And dating, I'm talking about Kaden and Ratchet's mom. Ratchet's mom apparently lived with her friend, who goes by the name Lorna Cross. Here's a small part of his dialogues. I'll leave the link of the video in the description below.
Viperia's a beautiful planet. You know, your mother went to school here. Kaden and I came out here to visit her once, back when they were still dating. She and her friend had a place on the northern ridge. Now, what was her name? Delightful, pretty, but very clumsy. Ah, Lorna. Lorna Cross.
Lorna Cross, okay, it could be someone completely different. Someone with the same family name, okay, whatever. But Azimuth explained that Lorna was clumsy. Angela Cross was also clumsy. So clumsiness and the same family name, I think Insomniac Games was hinting towards the fact that Lorna Cross was Angela Cross's mother. As for what happened to her, one can only speculate. I think she sent her daughter Angela to the Bogon galaxy. She was raised by someone on planet Greblin, but who? For her mother, did she escape to the Lombax dimension? I don't think so. I think she died. She tried saving Angela and she succeeded. She sent her to the Bogon galaxy, but Tachyon probably took her life. As for her father, okay guys, here's an idea that may sound crazy. What if Azimuth was Angela Cross's father? What if Lorna never told Azimuth about the baby? I mean, Kaden and Azimuth did visit them on Viperia when they were younger. Okay, yeah, some of you may be like, but Azimuth's fur is white. We're talking about genetics. So we can simply explain that Angela Cross got her physical traits from her mother, Lorna Cross. Guys, I'm just saying, when Ratchet's mother was still in school, Kaden and Azimuth visited both her and Lorna. Who knows, maybe Azimuth fell in love with Lorna at one point. And the way he was talking about Lorna, his tone of voice, it really sounded like he was fascinated. Could Angela have been born during that time, when Lorna was still going to school? I'm assuming. I'm gonna go with no. Like Azimuth explained, Kaden Kaden was still dating Ratchet's mother. The same thing goes for Lorna, perhaps. Some of you might be thinking right now, why didn't Insomniac Games leave that into the game? Why did they remove it? Like I said earlier, I think Insomniac Games doesn't want to revisit the whole Angela Cross thing. If they had kept that in, a lot of people would have started theorizing and speculating the next sequel and stuff. Since they didn't want to revisit the whole Angela Cross thing, the Lombaxes, I think they simply decided to take it out. Okay, maybe they took it out due to time constraints, but it's not like an extra planet or boss battle we're talking about. But anyways, I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna end the video. What would you guys like to see in the future? Would you like to get a sequel to the reimagining or something that continues the story of the future saga? Would you like to see more of Angela Cross? Tell me what you think in the comment section below, and as always, I've been Vivi and thanks for watching.